Yo, what is up, my dudes? I'm back with another video. This time, I was gonna do Cortex. I just messed up his name, but I don't care. But I don't have TGYD with me right now, so I won't do that. So, today, I'm gonna be talking about the Atelier fanbase, and what basically happened with the fans after the newer games released. And don't be discouraged if I start leaning toward one side or the other. It is to get both sides of their points and see where they're coming from, basically. So the first 20 games were mainly RPGs with turn-based combat, deep stories, and original characters, which are seen as the gold standard for the series. And the next game in the series, unfortunately, because I don't know the actual game's names, that kind of shows you which side I'm on. I'm on the newer side, but I do try to understand where they are coming from, which leads me into the game, one of the newer games, Atelier Ryza. This one is the one that kind of started a shift, but didn't really start it. It was more or less a JRPG with more action-based combat rather than turn-based. That is at least how I discern RPG versus a JRPG. That's just how I do it. I do it by combat and stuff. But this game was a little popular. It didn't really split that much stuff until the next game. Unfortunately, there were millions, and I mean millions, of newer fans who got introduced to the series on this next game, Atelier Ryza 2, myself included. I had actually got introduced in, I think it was 2021, I think? 2020, 2021, I think. I forget which. But I had actually fallen in love with the JRPG mechanics and stuff, which brings us to our next case, because this is how you know that the series just was split in two. Because the next game was a return to form for the older RPG fans, titled Atelier Sophie 2, which let me just say, this game sold so abysmally bad, which isn't really any of the newer fans' faults, because us newer fans were like, boycott, you get the gist. No one bought it. No one bought that game besides the older RPG fans. And let me just say this. It's not a bad game per se. It's just not what I fell in love with. And unfortunately, that is what happened with a lot of the newer fans. Felt exactly as I did, and we just all boycotted Sophie 2 for that reason, because again, Ryza 2 just kind of split the fan base, which happens when developers try new things. You get different types of fans in the series for different types of reasons. It's similar to food. It's similar to anime characters and stuff. We all sometimes like the same thing, but for different reasons. That's just how it works. But then Sophie 2 sold so badly that the devs were either more than likely forced into making the next game because of the backlash, which is highly unlikely because of the time frame, and or they were already making the next entry, which was the most sold in the entire series. Atelier Rise of 3. This game outsold Sophie 2 so much that it is abysmally clear that Rise of 2 just split the fan base completely at that point. Rise of 2 had just completely split the fan base into the RPG side and then the JRPG side, which is unfortunate, but that's how that works with literally everything. So, I mean, that's just how that works. But I mean, this game, Atelier Rise of 3, sold over 2 million more copies than Sophie 2. 2 million more copies, guys. Get this. 2 million more. Yes, I will yell it into the mic. 2 million more copies. That is how abysmally clear that Rise of 2 would just split the fan base at that point, which is how it works. That's how it works within the Sonic fan base. Trials of Mana fan base. The Paper Mario fan base with Sticker Star Color Splash in the Origami King-ish. Heck, even Final Fantasy is literally in the same exact boat as the Atelier series, because it has the same split in between the RPG side and then the JRPG side as well. Same genres, even, man. Same split, same genres and stuff too, which is just insane. But again, that's what happens. That series was actually the Final Fantasy series was actually split in two as well, which that's how it works, man. Unfortunately, in this world that we live in. But yeah, but I mean, I was actually tricked by some of the older fans and got Sophie 2. Had my hopes high that it was another JRPG, and I sold the game back to GameStop because, again, not really why I play Atelier. I played for the JRPG mechanics, and at this point, I am a gameplay person at heart. So even though Sophie 2 had mostly better characters and story, it ultimately fell flat because Sophie 2's gameplay was not like Rise's. I could care less. It's like Super Paper Mario for me. I could care less if the story and characters are some of the best in the entire franchise. I don't care at that point. I just care about gameplay. That is, ever since I was 7 years old. Like 6 years old. Not even 7 years old at that point, because I used to play this like Leap Frog game a system before my DS and stuff, which really got me into gaming. But I mean, even back then, gameplay person, right here, man. So, even back then, I was a strict only gameplay person, which if I want a good characters and story, I'll read fanfics. I'll read a book. I'll watch TV. I'll watch a movie, etc. Or etc. I have other outlets for those key points. It didn't even matter at that point because Sophie 2 was a video game at heart, and that and I only care about gameplay. So I got Rise of 3, and it was everything that I had actually wanted. So, which was a bunch of us newer fans felt that way, which is unfortunate, but that is gonna probably be it though, guys, because I've gone on long enough, and I'm sure you get the point by now. But until next time, guys, peace.